Namatay ang nasa 25 katao matapos sunugin ng mga hindi patukoy na grupo ang isang residential hotel sa Bangladesh.
Ayon sa lokal na ulat, may 100 iba pang individual ang nakaligtas. Mga detalye ng balita, ibabahagi maya-maya. Magandang gabi, ako po si Rikki Mathay.
At ako si Rikki Alagao Flores. Ito ang Mata ng Agila International para naman sa mga headlines ngayong Miyerkules ng gabi.
Pilipinas sumali sa Australia, Canada, US sa isang multilateral drill sa West Philippine Sea.
Bilang ng Pilipinong walang trabaho bumaba sa 1.62 million noong buwan ng Hunyo.
Mastermind sa likod ng October 7 attack, pinangalan ng bagong lider ng Hamas.
Vice President Kamala Harris pinili si Tim Walz bilang running mate.
And Georgia at South Carolina lubog sa baha dahil kay Tropical Storm Debbie. Nagsagawa ng isang multilateral activity ng kooperasyon sa dagat ang puwersa militar mula sa Pilipinas, Australia, Canada at Estados Unidos ngayong Miyerkules.
Idinaos nila ang pag-ensayo sa loob ng exclusive economic zone ng ating bansa na parte ng West Philippine Sea. Sabi ni Armed Forces of the Philippines Chief General Romeo Bronner Jr. na tatagal ang nasabing multilateral exercise hanggang sa Huwebes. Ayon sa isang joint statement mula sa 4 na bansang nakilahok, ang ehersisyo ay naglalayong ipakita ang sama-samang pangako na palakasin ang regional at internasyonal na kooperasyon para sa isang malayang Indo-Pacific. Idinagdag pa ng mga unit ng Naval at Air Force ng mga bansang kaakibat ay handa ring makipagtulungan. Magpapahusay rin ito sa kooperasyon at interoperability sa pagitan ng kani-kanilang sandatahang lakas.
Sinabi ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na maglalaan ang gobyerno ng 1 bilyong pisong halaga ng bagong heavy equipment para sa National Irrigation Administration o NIA sa taong 2025. Ipinahayag ito ni Pangulong Marcos sa gitna ng ceremonial turnover ng 148 bagong nabiling kagamitan ng NIA sa Pampanga. Ang pagkuha ng mga bagong excavator, trailer trucks at dumpers na nagkakahalaga ng 782 milyong piso ay bahagi ng ikalawang parte ng 3-year refleeting program ng ahensya. Ang bagong nakuhang makinarya ay gagamitin ng NIA sa buong Pilipinas sa pagpapatakbo at pagpapanatili ng mga sistema ng irigasyon. Mahalaga ang refleeting program sa pagsasaayos at pagpapatayo ng mas maraming pasilidad ng irigasyon na nasira mula sa natural calamities.
Ipinahayag ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. na tuloy ang implementasyon ng Public Utility Modernization Program o PUVMP. Sinabi ni PBBM na tutol siya sa posisyon ng 22 senador na nagsasabing minadali ang programa. Tinukoy ng Pangulo na 7 beses nang naantala ang PUVMP. Nag-consolidate na anya ang 80% sa mga PUV at iilan na lang ang hindi pa sumasama sa programa.
So paano naman? Yung 20% ang magde-decide yung buhay ng 100%. So pakinggan natin yung majority. At ang majority sinasabi, ituloy natin. So that's what we will do.
At good news po dahil mas palalakasin na ang Philippine sports. Ito po ang pangako ni Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. kasunod ng 2 gold medals na napanalunan ni Filipino gymnast Carlos Yulo sa Paris Olympics. Ayon sa Pangulo, dapat bigyang inspirasyon ng gobyerno ang mas maraming Pilipino atleta na maging kampyon at maghakot ng mas maraming medalya para sa Pilipinas.
Dahil may monetary reward na siya kung saan nanggagaling, ang talagang pagka nakita kami, itatanong ko sa kanya, ano pa maitutulong ng pamahalaan para mas dumami ang ating mga medalist sa Olympics.
Nabawasan ang bilang ng mga Pilipinong walang trabaho sa 3.1% noong Hunyo ayon sa Philippine Statistics Authority o PSA. Sa datos ng PSA, katumbas ito ng 1.62 milyong individual. Mas mababa rin ito sa 4.1% o 2.11 million individuals noong Mayo. Samantala, tumaas naman ang employment rate ng Pilipinas sa 96.9% noong Hunyo. Mas mataas ito sa 95.5% noong May 2024.
Lilipad patungong South Korea ang nasa 100 Pinoy caregivers upang magtrabaho sa ilalim ng Employment Permit System Pilot Project. Ang naturang bilang ng mga Pinoy caregivers ay unang batch sa ilalim ng nasabing programa. Nagsasagawa na rin ang send-off ceremony para sa mga Pinoy workers ang Department of Migrant Workers or DMW kasama si Korean Ambassador to the Philippines, Lee Sang-hwa. Ang mga Pinoy caregivers ay magtatrabaho sa mga lisensyadong ahensya sa South Korea na accredited ng Korean Ministry of Employment and Labor. Tiniyak naman ng DMW na magiging maayos ang trato ng mga ahensya sa South Korea at ng mga katrabahong Korean nationals sa mga Pinoy workers. Giit pa ng ahensya na may sapat na benepisyong matatanggap ang mga ito.
Sa ibang balita, nakakolekta ng higit sa 100,500 tonelada ng basura ang Metropolitan Manila Development Authority o MMDA sa National Capital Region o NCR. Nahakot ang mga basura matapos ang malawakang pagbaha sa Metro Manila dulot ng bagyong Karina at habagat. Ayon sa MMDA, karamihan sa mga basura ay nahakot mula sa mga ilog, estero at mga baradong kanal sa lugar. Batay sa datos ng ahensya, 1,513 na tonelada ng basura ang nakalap nito mula July 24 hanggang August 5. Sinabi ng MMDA na pangunahing sanhi ng pagbara o pagbaha sa lugar ang malaking bilang ng basurang bumabara sa drainage sa lansangan. Dahil dito, plano ng ahensya na maglunsad ng isang long-term master plan na pagre-resolba sa problema ng pagbaha sa Metro Manila gamit ang pondong mula sa World Bank. Susunod, move forward party list ng Thailand, binuwag na ng korte sa Thailand.
Bagong pinuno ng Hamas, pinakilala na.
At Kamala Harris at running mate Tim Walz nagsimula ng mangampanya. Yan po at iba pang mga balita sa pagbabalik ng Mata ng Agila International.
This one?
Ngayong Sabado sa Oh No, It's B.O. Babaeng puro reklamo. Marami ang naaaburido.
Magkano pa yung kwek-kwek? Ba't ganito yung lasa? Bakit? Iba po yung panlasa ko eh. Hindi lang po nakatikim ng ganyan. Ikaw lang din nagsabi ng ganyan.
May baka bullseye kaya sa darts kung ang target ay tao imbis na dartboard.
Ito, oh. 1, 2, 3. Ano lang. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Oh.
Mapapakembot naman ang marami sa Shake Your Booty Prank Challenge ni Papa P.
Kaya mo yan! Kaya mo yan! Go! Go! Kaya mo yan!
Prank Tito na mala LC ang nakasimentong braso. Marami ang mapeperwisyo.
Dediretso po ako doon. Kakaliwa po ako pag ganun.
Houston Brothers, hindi nakaligtas sa hand in the back prank. Lahat ng yan, ating abangan this Saturday, 8 p.m. sa Oh No, It's B.O. Biro only.
Sa Net 25.
Hello mga Kanet 25! Ako po si Ali Soto mula sa ASPN na nasa palagay nyo at Mata ng Agila Puraitan. Hanap nyo ba ay family bonding? Abay, tara na kayo rito at makitakbo kayo dito sa aming Net 25 Fun Run. Kailan yan? August 26. Araw po yan ng Monday, pero holiday! Kaya swak na swak! Ito, saan yan? Saan yan, Ali? dito po sa Philippine Arena, Ciudad de Victoria, Bocao, Bulacan. Abay, isama nyo na yung buong pamilya. Gusto nyo man lakad ng Dabarkads? Register now! Just scan itong QR code sa inyong mga screen. Net 25 fun run. Pwede din naman fun walk. See you there!
Nagsagawa ng Joint Combat Patrol ang China malapit sa Scarborough Shoal ayon sa ulat ng Singaporean media. Layo ng Joint Combat Patrol na ito na ipakita ang kakayahan ng puwersa ng China kung pag-uusapan ng air at sea capabilities. Batay naman sa anunsyo ng Southern Theater Command ng China, bahagi ng combat patrols ang pagsasagawa ng reconnaissance at early warning, rapid mobility at joint strike drills. Matatagpuan ang Scarborough Shoal, 240 kilometers kanluran ng Luzon Island ng Pilipinas, kung saan ay nasa loob ng exclusive economic zone ng bansa. Matagal nang inaangkin ng China ang halos buong mapa ng South China Sea kahit may international tribunal ruling na nagwawalang bisa sa mga claims ng Beijing.
Pinangalanan na si Nobel Laureate Muhammad Yunus bilang leader ng interim government ng Bangladesh. Siya po ay itinalaga isang araw matapos tumakas ng bansa si Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina kasunod ng ilang ligong madugong protesta na nagdulot ng kanyang pagbibitiw sa pwesto. Habang si Yunus ay pinupuri para sa kanyang makabagong paggamit ng microloans, itinuturing siya ni Hasina bilang isang kritiko at kaaway. Kasalukuyang nakalaya sa piyansa si Yunus habang inaapela niya ang kanyang kasong kanilang sinasabing politically motivated lamang. Noong taong 1983, sinimulan ni Yunus ang Grameen Bank na nag-aalok ng pangmatagalang microloans upang matulungan ang mga mahihirap na magsimula ng maliliit na negosyo. Binigyan siya at ang bangko ng Nobel Peace Prize noong taong 2006 para sa kanilang pagtulong sa mahihirap na iahon ang kanilang estado ng pamumuhay at pagdala ng kaunlaran sa Bangladesh sa pamamagitan ng microcredit and microfinance.
Binigyan ng hatol na guilty ng Constitutional Court ng Thailand ang Move Forward o mas kilala bilang MF Party.
This is the fifth vicious cycle in 20 years. It's been a way that the conservative elites have found a way to keep elected officials at bay. So this will be the fifth time. It's almost like an old record playing the same song over and over again. Maybe it's time to stop this vicious cycle. And if the worst case scenario were to happen, I'm hoping that I'm the last one that gets this kind of treatment, and our party is the last party that gets dissolved in Thai democracy.
Ayon sa korte, ang MFP ay napatunayang nagkasala sa paglabag sa saligang batas ng Thailand noong nangako silang aamyendahan ng lèse-majesty law na nagpipigil sa mga mamamayan ng Bangkok na magsalita laban sa royal family ng bansa. Mapipilitan ngayon ang Move Forward Party na buwagin ang kanilang organisasyon at pagbabawalan ang mga pinuno nito na maghawak ng kahit anong posisyon sa gobyerno nang hindi bababa sa 10 taon. Noong nakaraang eleksyon ay nakuha ng MFP sa likod ng pamumuno ni Pitalim Jarenrat ang 151 mula sa 251 na bakanting upuan sa parlamento para makakuha ng outright majority. Dahil dito napilitan silang makipagsanib puwersa sa Pheu Thai Party. Si PT Lim Jarenrat naman mula sa pagiging potensyal na kandidato bilang Prime Minister ay napilitang magbitiw sa pwesto niya bilang miyembro ng Parliament dahil sa pagmamay-ari niya ng isang broadcast company na ipinagbabawal naman sa Thailand.
But the core ideology of trying to demilitarize Thailand, taking military out of Thai politics, demonopolize, I already explained it to you, and decentralize, which makes sure that Bangkok is not Thailand and Thailand is not Bangkok. That's to the core fundamentals. It will be carried on. And I want to prove to the establishment and also to the world that dissolving parties is futile.
Sinabi ng Russia na halos 300 na mga sundalo mula sa Ukraine ang naglunsad ng isang cross-border attack sa isang tahimik na bahagi ng front lines nitong Martes lamang. Iniulat ng Moscow na mayroong labanan na nangyari sa bayan ng Kursk na matatagpuan 10 kilometro sa loob ng border ng Russia. Ayon sa Ministry of Defense in Moscow, higit kumulang 300 militanteng Ukrainian ang naglunsad ng pag-atake noong umaga ng Martes. Kasama nito ang suporta ng 11 mga tangke at mahigit 20 armored fighting vehicles. Naganap ang labanan buong araw sa pagitan ng mga border village ng Nikolaevo, Daryono at Oleshnya. Bagaman sinabi ng Russia na napigilan nila ang paglusob ng armada ng kalaban, ipinakita ng mga ulat mula sa social media na malaki ang naging pinsala ng Ukraine Army sa naturang rehiyon.
Nais ni Panama President Jose Raul Mulino na magsagawa ng pagpupulong ng 17 presidente ng Latin America upang talakayin ang sitwasyon sa Venezuela.
Por respeto a la historia de Panamá, como dije al inicio, por respeto a los millones de venezolanos que eligieron nuestra patria para vivir y por respeto a mis convicciones democráticas, no puedo permitir que mi silencio se convierta en complicidad. El gobierno de Panamá anuncia el retiro del personal diplomático de Venezuela y poniendo en suspenso las relaciones diplomáticas hasta tanto no se realice una revisión completa de las actas y el sistema informático del escrutinio de votación que permitan conocer la genuina voluntad popular.
Dagdag pa ni Molino, gusto niyang suportahan ang demokrasya kasunod ng nangyari noong nakaraang eleksyon sa pagitan ni Nicolas Maduro at Edmundo Gonzalez. Sa isang pahayag sa social media platform na X, inatasan niya ang kanyang foreign minister na magpadala ng imbitasyon sa mga kasamang bansa. Hiniling rin nito ang suporta ng Estados Unidos sa usapan nila ni U.S. Southern Command General Laura Richardson and U.S. Ambassador to Panama, Marie Carmen Aponte. Layunin ng nasabing pulong na maglabas ng joint declaration ukol sa sitwasyon ng kapulisan ng South America at ang paghahanap ng mapayapang resolusyon sa Venezuela. Noong nakaraang linggo ay nagpulong na ang Organization of American States para maglabas sana ng deklarasyon na nagmamandato sa gobyerno ng Venezuela na ilabas ang opisyal na resulta ng kanilang eleksyon at siguraduhin ang kaligtasan ng mga taong lumikas mula sa Venezuela sa mga refugee center. Hindi natuloy ang nasabing deklarasyon dahil sa failure of voting. Ayon naman sa gobyerno ng Venezuela ay nasa kanila ang mga kopya ng balota, ngunit wala pa itong nilalabas hanggang ngayon.
Naghahanda na ang pulisya ng United Kingdom para sa mga anti-immigrant riots na posibleng umusbong sa mga susunod na araw. Ito ay matapos mangako ang mga radical far-right groups na tatargetin nila ang ilan pang mga lugar na konektado sa imigrasyon sa loob ng kanila.
Pinangalanan ng Hamas si Yahya Sinwar, ang mastermind sa likod ng mga pag-atake noong ika-7 ng Oktubre sa Israel bilang kanilang bagong pinuno.
اليوم شعبنا يدشن مرحلة جديدة من تاريخ نضاله وكفاحه الوطني على طريق التحرير والعودة. اليوم شعبنا يخرج بكافة جماهيره في قطاع غزة في الضفة الغربية في أراضي المحتلة عام 48 ومن الخارج ليدشن هذه المرحلة الجديدة وليصوب المسار.
Sinabi ng Hamas na si Sinwar ang itinalagang bagong pinuno ng kanilang political bureau na papalit kay Ismail Haniyeh at muling sinising Israel sa pagkamatay ng dating Hamas leader. Ang pagpili kay Sinwar ay isang tahasang pahiwatig na handa ang grupo na ipagpatuloy ang laban matapos ang 10 buwan ng digmaan sa Gaza. Malaki ang posibilidad na ikagagalit ito ng Israel dahil sa pagpili kay Sinwar na nasa tuktok ng kanilang kill list matapos ang naging epekto nito, hindi lamang sa kanilang bansa kundi pati na rin sa international community. Ito rin ay kasunod ng mataas na pangamba sa posibilidad ng isang all-out war sa Middle East, kung saan nangako ang Iran na maghihiganti sila laban sa Israel dahil sa pagpatay kay Haniyeh.
Nangako ang Hezbollah na malakas at epektibong tugon sa pagpatay ng Israel sa kanilang military commander noong nakaraang linggo. Sinabi nilang desidido silang maghiganti, may tulong man o walang galing sa kanilang mga kaalyado sa rehiyon. Sinabi ni Hezbollah leader Syed Hassan Nasrallah, maghihintay ang grupo ng tamang pagkakataon para tumugon at hindi nagbigay ng karagdagang impormasyon. Bago ang pahayag na ito, nagpalipad ng mga eroplano ang Israel sa kabisera ng Lebanon na nagdulot ng sunod-sunod na sonic booms na nakasira ng mga bintana sa buong lungsod. Ipinagwalang bahala ni Nasrallah ang insidente at sinabi na maliit na hakbang lamang ito ng Israel upang himukin ang Lebanon na gumanti sa lalong madaling panahon. Wala pang pahayag mula sa militar ng Israel ukol sa mga komentong ito.
Pinulong ni U.S. President Joe Biden ang kanyang senior national security team dala ng umiigting na tensyon sa Middle East. Tinalakay dito ang posibilidad ng pagganti ng Iran sa Israel matapos na masawi si Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh. Mula noong nangyari ang insidente, tumindi ang tensyon kung saan sinisi ng Iran ang Israel na sila ang nasa likod ng pag-atake. Sinabi naman ni U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken na ginagawa nila ang lahat ng hakbang para maiwasan ang anumang paglala ng kaguluhan. Magugunitang maraming bansa na gaya ng US at United Kingdom ang nag-utos sa kanilang mga mamamayan na agad na lumisan at iwasan ang Lebanon na siyang kaalyado ng Iran.
May running mate na napili si Kamala Harris para sa Democratic ticket ngayong Nobyembre. Ang tatakbo bilang vice-presidente ni Harris ay walang iba kundi si Tim Walz na sa kasalukuyan ang governor ng Minnesota. Rosel Feria po para sa balita.
Bising-bisi ang araw kahapon ni presumptive Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris. Noong umaga, tinawagan si Minnesota Governor Tim Walz upang aluking maging running mate sa U.S. presidential election sa Nobyembre.
Hi, this is Tim.
It's Kamala Harris. Good morning, Governor.
Good morning, Madam Vice President.
Listen, I want you to do this with me. Let's do this together. Would you be my running mate and let's get this thing on the road?
I would be honored, Madam Vice President.
The joy that you're bringing back to the country, the enthusiasm that's out there, it'll be a privilege to take this with you across the country.
At kinagabihan, nagsama sina Harris at ang kanyang VP pick sa kauna-unahang pagkakataon para mangampanya. Magkatabing humarap ang duo sa isang rally sa Philadelphia kung saan higit sa 10,000 tao ang dumalo. Inatake din ni Minnesota Governor Walz ang tala ng krimen noong si Trump pa ang presidente.
He drove our economy into the ground, and make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
Bumangon si Walz sa pinakamabilis na vice presidential search sa modernong kasaysayan ng bansa. Bit-bit niya sa Democratic ticket ang karanasang eksekutibo, serbisyong militar at ang record ng suporta ng mga puting botante sa lalawigan na dati maka-Trump. Rosel Feria para sa Mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Gaya na nga ng una ng nabanggit na kapili na si U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris ng kanyang running mate sa halalan sa buwan ng Nobyembre sa katauhan ni Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Well, let me tell you, I have just the utmost respect for you. I have really enjoyed our work together. You understand our country. You have dedicated yourself to our country in so many different and beautiful ways. And we're going to do this. We're going to win. And we're going to unify our country and remind everyone that we are fighting for the future for everyone. So let's get out there and get this done, okay?
Ang 60 anyos na si Walz ay U.S. Army National Guard veteran at dating guro bago siya pumasok sa larangan ng politika. Nagsilbi si Walz sa National Guard ng 24 na taon at umakyat pa sa ranggo ng Command Sergeant Major na napalitan naman sa Master Sergeant ilang taon matapos siyang magretiro sa serbisyo. Sa una niyang pagtakbo noong 2006 para sa House of Congress, napabaliktad niya ang isang historically Republican Conservative District ng Minnesota dahil sa kanyang baluarteng rural Minnesota. Sa kanyang 6 na termino sa Kongreso, ay naging pangunahing prioridad niya ang benepisyo ng mga Army veterans. Naisulong din niya ang pagtugon ng ilang key democratic issues kasama na ang pagsisimula ng union para sa mga manggagawa at pagtaas ng minimum wage ng Minnesota. Tinulungan din niyang mapataas ang pondo para sa edukasyon, healthcare at public roads. Naging matagal nang nagsusulang si Waz ng women's reproductive rights at conservative habang nagre-representa sa rural district sa House of Congress. Naging malupit na kritiko din ito ng Republican Party, lalo na kay former President Donald Trump.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as that's what you see. That's what you see.
Sa kabilang banda, sa Atlanta, Georgia naman po noong Sabado, nangako ang tambalang Donald Trump at J.D. Vance na hihigpitan ang immigration policies, daragdagan ang taripa laban sa China at pasusulungin ang U.S. manufacturing. Sa kanyang talumpati, hindi napigilan ng Republican presidential candidate na kondinahin ang isinagawang prisoner exchange sa pagitan ng U.S. at Russia kamakailan. Muli rin itong pinasaringan ang racial identity ni U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. Narito po ang karagdagang detalye mula kay Rose Papa Angeles.
Sa Republican presidential campaign rally sa Atlanta, Georgia, sa kabila ng pagpuri ni Donald Trump kay Russian President Vladimir Putin ukol sa naganap na prisoner swap noong isang linggo, tinuligsa nito na ang kasunduan ay masamang pamarisan sa hinaharap.
I'd like to congratulate Vladimir Putin for having made yet another great deal. Did you see the deal we made? Now look, we want to get people in. You know, we got 59 hostages. I never paid anything. They released some of the greatest killers anywhere in the world. Some of the most evil killers they got, and we got our people back, but boy, we make some horrible, horrible deals, and it's nice to say we got them back, but does that set a bad precedent?
Samantala, patuloy na binanata ni Donald Trump ang karakter ni Vice President Kamala Harris pati rin ang mga tuntunin na isinusulong nito. Nagbabala si Trump na sakaling manalo si Harris, dadagsaan niya ang pagpasok ng illegal alien rapists at child predators sa bansa. Ibinida ni Trump na kung siya ang ihahalal na presidente, ilulunsad niya ang pinakamalaking deportation operation sa kasaysayan ng Amerika.
If Harris wins, a never-ending stream of illegal alien rapists, MS-13 animals, and child predators will flood into your communities. If I win on day one, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history. Have no choice. We have no choice. No country can sustain this.
Patuloy din kunestyon ni Trump ang racial identity ng vice-presidente. Iminungkahi ng kampo ni Trump na debatihin nito si Harris sa Fox News sa 4 ng Setyembre sa battleground state ng Pennsylvania. Binalikan naman ito ng kampo ni Harris na sinusubukan ni Trump na umatras sa debateng nakaschedule na sa himpilang ABC. Papayag si Harris kung ang debate ay isasagawa base sa orihinal na plano. Kasama sa mga ipinangako ni Trump sa rally ay ang pagpapataw ng karagdagang taripa sa China, pagwawakas ng giyerang Russia at Ukraine at ang pagpapatayo ng anyay Iron Dome Missile Defense Shield na poprotekta sa bansa. Rose Papa Angeles, Washington, D.C. para sa Mata ng Agila International, trusted, connected, on point.
Umapela ang mga opisyal ng United Nations sa Security Council nito noong Martes upang tumulong na makapagpapasok ng humanitarian aid sa Sudan. Ito ay upang labanan ang gutom na umiiral ngayon doon. Si Anjo Milano para sa detalye.
Nanawagan si OCHA Operations and Advocacy Division Director Eden Muzorno na kailangan ng mabilis, ligtas at tuloy-tuloy na humanitarian access papasok ng Sudan. Anya, may malaking krisis ng gutom sa bansa at kailangan makapaghatid ng pagkain sa mga mamamayan nito.
In line with international humanitarian law, we need rapid, safe, unimpeded humanitarian access across Sudan through all possible routes. Given the massive hunger crisis unfolding in North Darfur and other parts of the country, we need to reach people now across borders, across battle lines, by air, by land.
Noong isang buwan, iminungkahi ng Estados Unidos na pag-isipan ng 15 miyembro ng konseho ang pagpapasok ng tulong sa border crossings tulad ng sa Adre mula Chad. Ngunit ayon sa Sudan, hindi kailangan ng aksyon mula sa konseho. Ayon sa Global Hunger Monitor, ang Integrated Food Security Phase Classification o IPC, ang matinding gutom sa Zamzam Camp para sa internally displaced people sa North Darfur ay dahil sa higit na 15 buwang gyera at ng paghihigpit sa pagde-deliver ng tulong. Itinanggi ito ng pamalaan ng Sudan. Ayon kay Sudan UN Ambassador Al-Harith Idris Al-Harith Mohamed, handang makipagtulungan ang bansa upang makapasok ang tulong dito.
إذا هناك مجاعة بلغت الدرجة الخامسة أو الدرجة 100 نحن مستعدين على التعاون مع المجتمع الدولي وكل موادكم التي ستصلنا سنفتح لها المعابر وبالتالي ليس ثمة اعتراض من قبل حكومة السودان التي أتشرف بتمثيلها في هذا الموقع وأسهمت في تذليل مهمة أوشا والمجتمع الدولي ونلت في ذلك خطابات الشكر ولذلك هذه هي المعلومات التي أردت أن أحيطكم بها وأشكركم على تعاونكم وتفهمكم وصبركم سيد الرئيس.
Hindi anya pinipigilan ng gobyerno ang humanitarian access. Sumabog ang labanan sa Sudan noong Abril nang nakaraang sa pagitan ng Army at ng Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces o RSF bago ang planong transition sa civilian rule. Ang Zamzam ay ang huling lugar na hinahawakan ng RSF sa Darfur. Bihag ito ng RSF at walang anumang tulong ang pumapasok rito sa loob ng maraming buwan.
When famine happens, it means we are too late. It means we did not do enough. It means we, the international community, have failed. This is an entirely man-made crisis and a shameful stain on our collective conscience.
Anjo Milano para sa Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Susunod, share ng kumpanyang Uber tumaas ngayong taon.
China nagpalipad ng sariling bersyon ng Starlink satellite sa space.
At nominasyon sa 2024 MTV Video Music Awards, inilabas na. Mga detalye ng mga balita sa pagbabalik na Mata ng Agila International.
This portion.
Mga ka-Net 25, ako po si Emma Tiglao.
Ako naman po si Diana Menezes.
Iniimbitahan po namin kayo na makitakbo na po sa Net 25 Fun Run sa August 26, 2024. Monday po yan sa Philippine Arena, Ciudad de Victoria, Bukawe, Bulacan.
Isama na yung buong pamilya at barkada and register na po by scanning this QR code sa inyong mga screen. Net 25 Fun Run, see you there!
milyong pasasalamat sa inyo mga ka-Net25 dahil umabot ng 1 milyon ang mga subscriber ng Net25 YouTube channel. Let's subscribe together here on Net25.
Napatambling sa saya ang buong sambayan ng Pilipino dahil sa wakas, naiuwi din ng ating kababayang si Carlos Golden Boy Yulo ang mailap na gintong medalya sa 2024 Paris Olympics. At teka po, hindi lamang isa, kundi 2 gintong medalya ang naiuwi ni Carlos para sa Pilipinas. At dahil sa mga karangalang ito, si Carlos ang pangalawang atletang Pilipino sa kasaysayan na nanalo ng gintong medalya pagkatapos ni Heidelin Diaz. At si Carlos din ang unang Pilipinong nagwagi ng multiple Olympic gold medals para sa bansa. Subalit, bago naging 2-time Olympic gold medalist si Carlos, ay nagsimula muna siya bilang si Kaloy, isang 6 na taong gulang na bata na ang tanging hilig lamang ay magtumbling. Ayon sa kanyang pamilya, mahilig si Kaloy na manood ng mga Pinoy gymnast na nagsasanay at nakikipag-compete sa Rizal Memorial Sports Complex. Sa mura niyang edad ay nakitaan siya ng potensyal at talento na maging isang atleta. Kaya sinuportahan ng kanyang pamilya ang kanyang formal training sa gymnastics. Nagsimulang sumali si Kaloy sa mga competitions noong taong 2008. Una po siyang sumali sa palarong pambansa noong 2009 sa Tacloban, Leyte. Dito ay nagtapos siya sa 2 at 5 pwesto lamang. Sinabi ni Kaloy na ito ang naghikayat sa kanya na mas dibdibin pa ang kanyang pagsasanay para sa susunod na palarong pambansa. Noong taong 2010, palarong pambansa sa Tarlac City at sinalihan niya lahat ng events sa gymnastics at dito nagbunga ang matindi niyang pagsasanay dahil naiuwi niya ang gold medal para sa individual, all-around and floor exercise events. Nakuha niya rin ang bronze medal para sa vault competition. Sa kanyang pagsali sa Philippine National Games taong 2011 ay nanalo naman siya ng 3 gold medals para sa floor exercise, rings, and parallel bars. Sumali rin siya sa palarong pambansa noong 2012 na ginanap sa Pangasinan kung saan ay nanalo rin siya ng gold medal sa 3 events. Huling sumali si Kaloy sa palarong pambansa noong 2013 at dito ay nanalo rin siya ng mga medalya para sa team event, individual all-around at floor exercise. Nasungkit niya rin ang isang silver medal para sa vault. Significant para kay Kaloy ang taong 2013 dahil dito niya nakilala ang kanyang Japanese coach na nagngangalang Monehiro Kugimiya. Malaki ang naitulong nito sa formal training ni Kaloy para sa gymnastics. Sumabak din si Kaloy sa ASEAN School Games at Pacific Rim Championships noong taong 2014. Lalo naman po nag-improve si Golden Boy sa kanyang performance sa 2016 Pacific Rim Championships dahil imagine, 5 medalya ang kanyang napanalunan doon. At ilang araw bago ang taong 2017 Junior Asian Championships ay nagkaroon ng injury naman tong si Kaloy. Pero alam nyo ba na kahit may iniindang injury ang ating Golden Boy noon ay lumaban pa rin siya sa steel rings, pommel horse at parallel bars. At nanalo pa siya ng gold medal sa parallel bars. Matindi talaga itong si Carlos Yulo. Nakaginto pa rin talaga. Noong 2018 Philippine National Games ay halos ubusin naman ni Kaloy lahat ng individual gold medals sa kanyang mga laban dito. Sa 2018 Asian Games ay nakamit ni Kaloy ang pinakamataas na score sa floor exercise qualification round. Kaya lang ay nabigo siyang makapasok sa top 5 noong event final. Si Carlos naman ang pinakabatang sumali sa 2018 World Championships sa Doha. Nanalo po siya ng bronze sa floor exercise at siya rin ang tinanghal na unang Pilipino at unang lalaking Southeast Asian gymnast na nanalo sa World Championships. Na-qualify si Carlos sa lumaban sa 2020 Summer Olympics sa Tokyo at dito ay muli siyang umukit ng kasaysayan nang itanghal siya bilang first Filipino and Southeast Asian World Champion in Artistic Gymnastics. Pagkatapos ng World Championships ay sumabak siya sa All Japan Senior Championships kung saan ay nauwi niya po ang bronze medal para sa vault at floor exercise. At kahit may COVID pandemic noon, ay ipinagpatuloy ni Carlos ang pagsali sa mga international events kagaya na lamang noong 2021 World Championships kung saan ay nagwagi siya ng gold and silver medals. And 2022 and 2023, pinamalas din ni Carlos ang kanyang husay sa gymnastics sa Southeast Asian Games, Asian Championships, World Championships at World Cup sa Doha. At kung akala niyo po ay sa Paris Olympics lamang sumali ang ating two-time gold medalist, ay naku, nagkakamali po kayo. Dahil present din si Carlos sa 2024 Baku World Event and 2024 Asian Championships. Pambihira, parang walang kapagod-pagod itong si Carlos Euro para lamang makamit ang kanyang gintong pangarap. Kaya naman kahit puyat at pagod ay talagang inaabangan ng buong Pilipinas ang lahat ng mga Pilipino ang laban ni Carlos sa 2024 Paris Olympics. Hindi tayo nabigo dahil itinaas ni Carlos ang Pilipinas sa entablado ng Paris, France.
It means a lot. It's a national pride for us. This is the second gold medal for the Philippines in its 100 years participating in the modern Olympics. So this is truly, truly special. Truly special for the Philippines. Woo! Yeah!
First ever medal in Olympics, and it's a gold medal.
Philippines.
Yes, baby.
Yes!
And what makes it even sweeter is he was a 2019 world champion, and in 2020 he did not make it to finals. But this year he made it to finals and he won gold. Amazing! I was crying.
You know what? We've traveled half the world to come here, and to see the Philippine, to hear the Philippine national anthem play there was just unimaginable. I can't believe it would happen in my lifetime, and it wouldn't happen on this trip, but it did. I was praying to God that I cannot leave Paris without Philippines winning gold, and it happened. So I'm very, very thankful and very proud of Kaloyulo.
Labis na hinangaan ng mga Pilipino ang golden determination ni Carlos na manalo. At kung ipinagmamalaki siya ng buong Pilipinas, ay proud na proud din ang kanyang pamilya.
Masaya kaming lahat dito. Proud din naman kami lahat sa kanya. Mga apo ko nasa taas, nanonood sa cellphone. Sigawan ng sigawan. Ay, ako, hindi ako makasigaw. Kasi nakikita ko siya, umiiyak siya. Naiiyak rin ako. Nung nakakuha siya ng yung pangalawang niya, gold niya, nandito kami noon, nanonood na kami, kasama ko na yung tatay niya. Yun, saya. Lahat ng tao.
Pati kapitbahay.
Ay, sobra. Nagbunyi talaga.
Para sa malalaking international competitions ay humakot si Carlos ng kabuuang 23 gold medals, 13 silvers and 3 bronze medals para sa gymnastics. At dahil sa karangalang ibinigay ni Carlos para sa Pilipinas ay bumuhos po ang milyon-milyong incentives para sa kanya. Kabilang na rito ang Olympic Gold Medal of Valor na galing sa Philippine Sports Commission. Lifetime free buffet, free meals, supply of cookies, medical consultations. May iba't ibang kumpanya rin na nagbigay sa kanya ng kondo, furnitures, vacation packages, business franchises at 6 million pesos in cash. Bukod pa rito ay may house and lot pa siya, heroes welcome at 20 million pesos cash na galing sa gobyerno ng Pilipinas. Subalit, alam nyo ba kung ano ang pinakahinahangaan ng marami sa ating Olympic champion? Ito po ay ang marubdob niyang disiplina sa katawan at isipan, pagkakaroon ng isang pusong handang lumaban, makapag-uwi lamang ng karangalan. Kaya maraming salamat sa iyo, Carlos Golden Boy Yulo. Congratulations! Salamat at saludo kami sa mga karangalang inialay mo para sa ating mahal na Pilipinas.
Sa Samantalang sa ibang balita, pinalubog ni Bagyong Debbie ang baybayin ng Georgia at South Carolina. Inaasahang magdudulot ito ng pagbaha sa Charleston, Savannah at iba pang mga lungsod isang araw matapos itong tumama sa Gulf Coast ng Florida. Si Bernhard Gonzaga para sa karagdagang detalye.
Hindi pa baba sa 6 na tao ang namatay sa Florida at Georgia dahil sa Bagyong Debbie. Inaasahang magtatagal si Debbie sa Timog Silangan at Mid-Atlantic Coast ng ilang araw. Ayon sa US National Hurricane Center, uulan ng 10 hanggang 20 pulgada sa ilang bahagi ng Georgia, South Carolina at North Carolina hanggang Biyernes. Magdudulot niya ito ng mapinsalang pagbaha. Nagdeklara ng state of emergency ang mga gobernador ng mga nasabing estado. Sinabi ng Hurricane Center na babagal si Debbie at magtutungo pasilangan palabas ng baybayin ng Georgia bago dumapo sa hilaga papasok ng South Carolina sa Huwebes. Bernhard Gonzaga para sa Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Patay ang nasa 25 katao matapos sunugin ng mga hindi patukoy na grupo ang isang residential hotel sa Bangladesh. Ayon sa lokal na ulat, may 100 iba pang individual ang nakaligtas. Kasalukuyang nagpapagaling sa pagamutan ng mga ito dahil sa tinamong sugat at sunog sa katawan. Paliwanag ng otoridad, pagmamay-ari ni Jasore District General Secretary Shahin Chakladar ng Awami League ang sinunog na hotel. Sinunog ng mga protesters ang hotel matapos sugurin ito at bigong masumpungan si Chakladar. Susunod, personal locker ni Kobe Bryant na ibenta ng higit sa $1 milyong.
Michael Bloomberg nagbigay ng donasyon sa ilang medical schools.
At abangan ang iba pang mga storya pagdating ni Alma Angeles at ng Net25 World News. Iba pa pong mga balita sa pagbabalik pa rin ng Mata ng Agila International.
Alam namin ang iyong pagsisikap. Dama namin ang iyong mga sakripisyo. Kita namin ang pagharap mo sa bawat pagsubok. Kaya sa kabila ng mga hamon ng buhay, nandito kami para umalalay. Kasi katulad mo, gusto rin namin ang magandang bukas para sa kanya. Hatid namin ang dekalidad na edukasyon at makabagong pasilidad sa abot kayang halaga. Kaya huwag ka nang mangamba. Sasamahan ka namin tuparin ang mga pangarap niya. Maaasahan mong sulit dito ang mga pinagsikapan mo. Sa aming mga makabagong pasilidad at sistema ng edukasyon. Mailalabas natin ang aking talino at mga kakayahan niya. Kahit sa munting halaga, makakasiguro ka na makakasabay siya sa mabilis na pag-ikot ng mundo. Sa New Era, karamay mo kami sa bawat hamon. Kaagapay mo kami sa bawat hakbang. Kasama mo kami sa bawat ngiti at tagumpay.
Higit sa inaasahan ng Wall Street ang resulta ng shares ng Uber sa ikalawang quarter ng taon. Dahil dito, tumaas ang shares ng kumpanya hanggang 8.2% sa trading noong Martes ng umaga. Si Arnie Aquino para sa balita.
Dahil mas maraming tao na ang bumabalik sa mga opisina, bumabiyahe, kumakain sa labas at naghahanap ng pagkakaabalahan, ang Uber ride-sharing ay nagkaroon ng malaking boost. Tumaas ng 16% ang kita ng kumpanya, habang ang gross bookings naman nito ay tumaas ng 19%. Parehong higit ito sa inaasahan ng analysts. Ang kita naman mula sa delivery business nito na Uber Eats ay lumampas din sa inaasahan. Ang mga biyahe ng self-driving vehicles sa platform ng Uber ay tumaas din ng 6 na beses. Samantala, tumaas din ang shares ng Lyft na inaasahang mag-uulat ng resulta nito sa Miyerkules. Arnie Aquino para sa Mata ng Agila International. Trusted, connected, on point.
Nagpadala ang China ng 18 satellites sa kalawakan ayon sa China National Space Administration. Sinabi ng Chinese Space Agency ang mga naturang satellites ay bahagi ng Qianfan Mega Constellation Project o G60. Sa ulat ng Chinese state media ay tinuturing nitong sariling bersyon ng Starlink ang Qianfan Project. Layo ng Qianfan Project na maglungsad ng mas maigting at high-quality communication services sa mga domestic users nito. Ngayong taon, planong makapagdala ng China ng 108 satellites sa space. Sa susunod na taon naman, ay daragdagan ito ng hanggang 648 satellites. Sa taong 2027, sisikaping maging global network ang coverage ng Qianfan Project. At sa 2030 naman, sisikapin ng China na ma-achieve ang higit 15,000 na satellites sa space para magkaloob ng integrated services katulad ng direct mobile connection.
Nalalapit na ang 2024 MTV Video Music Awards kung saan ay nanguna sa nominasyon ang American singer-songwriter na si Taylor Swift. Pasok sa nominasyon ng Video of the Year Award ang kanta ni Swift na Fortnight featuring Post Malone mula sa album niyang The Tortured Poets Department. Dagdag pa rito ang nominasyon sa Fortnight para naman sa Song of the Year and Best Collaboration. Sinundan naman ito ng nominasyon para sa Best Collaboration din ang kantang I Had Some Help featuring Morgan Wallen ni Post Malone. Bukod po dito ay nominado naman para sa kategorya ng Artist of the Year ang mga artists na sina Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, Eminem, Sabrina Carpenter at SZA. Sa kabuuan ay nakatanggap ng 10 nominasyon si Taylor Swift kasama na ang mga kategorya para sa Best Pop, Best Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Editing, Best Visual Effects, and Best Art Direction. Samantala, nitong nakaraang taon lamang ay humako si Swift ng 9 na awards na may 23 panalo mula sa 2023 VMA. Magaganap ang nasabing parangalan sa September 11 sa UBS Arena, New York, USA.
Umabot sa $2.9 million ang halaga ng locker ni Kobe Bryant. Ito ay matapos isubasta sa New York. Ayon sa auction house sa Sotheby's ay dumoble ang presyo ng center locker ni Kobe Bryant mula sa unang presyo nito na $1.5 million. Nakilala ang basketball star bilang natatanging player ng Los Angeles na tinaguri ang 18-time NBA All-Star guard. Naisalba naman ang locker matapos matagpuan ng isang maintenance worker sa panahon ng renovation ng Staples Center Arena noong 2018. Dagdag pa rito ay makikita rin sa auction ang mga memorabilia ng mga sports icons gaya ni Michael Jordan, Reggie Jackson, Rafael Nadal at Stephen Curry. Samantala, taong 2020 nang masawi sa isang helicopter crash si Kobe Bryant kasama ang kanyang anak na si Gianna.
Naglabas ngayon ng tinatayang $600 million si Michael Bloomberg bilang donasyon para sa ilang black medical schools. Ayon sa organisasyon ng Bloomberg Philanthropies, layunin ng donasyon ni Bloomberg na makatulong sa pagpapaunlad ng mga makasaysayang black medical schools. Ilan sa mga paaralan na nakatanggap ng $175 million ay ang Howard University of Medicine, Meharry Medical College at Morehouse School of Medicine. Dagdag pa rito ang $75 million na natanggap ng Charles Drew University of Medicine and Science, habang ang Xavier University of Louisiana na bagong bukas ay nakakuha rin ng $5 million. Binigyan din ni Michael Bloomberg ang galing ng mga doktor mula sa mga paaralan na ito, pati na rin ang tuwirang serbisyo medikal na kanilang ibinibigay sa mga pasyente. Samantala, nangako rin si Bloomberg noong July ng $1 billion na tulong sa Johns Hopkins University bilang bahagi naman ng walang tuition fee na pag-aaral sa medikal.
Kawalan ng kuryente ang isa sa mga matitinding suliraning kinakaharap ng isa sa mga sastre sa Gaza na nagresulta sa paggamit niya ng bisikleta. Tinutulungan ngayon si Rad Saad ng kanyang mga anak na paandarin ang kanyang sewing machine sa tulong ng isang bisikleta. Pahirapan man ang buhay sa Gaza ay napagdesisyonan niya na gumawa ng paraan para magpatuloy ang kanyang hanap buhay. Ayon pa kay Saad ay isang pabrika na mayroong 20 mga trabahador ang kanyang pinatakbo bago nagsimula ang giyera sa Gaza. Anya ay magkasamang nasira ang kanyang tirahan at pabrika mula sa mga pag-atake ng Israel. Samantala, libo-libong mga Palestinian ngayon ang humaharap sa lumalalang problema sa kawalan ng kuryente, tubig, pagkain at medisina.
Yan, Nina, mabalik nga tayo doon kay Kobe Bryant dahil di ba kagabi pa natin siya talagang binabalita dahil ganyan talaga kapag nag-iwan ka talaga ng magandang record sa iyong industriya hanggang sa iyong kamatayan ay meron ka pa rin mga fans na matitira, di ba? Kaya ito si Carlos Yulo, siguro yung kanyang laging bitbit na, nakikita mo ba yun yung plastic niya na lalagyan? Di ba? Na may lamang chalk.
Nako, nakaabang ka ba? Magbibid ka ba? Magbibid ka ba kung sakaling i-auction yan, Rikki?
Diba? Pwede. At saka baka mamaya branded na sa susunod yung kanya nilagyan ng...
Pero syempre, valuable yun kasi may ibang level ng sentimental value yun. Kasi naman yun ang kanyang bit, di ba? Noong mga panahon nag-i-ensayo siya hanggang masungkit nga ang gintong medalya not once, but twice.
Diba? Ika nga nila, diba? Kung sino yung mga, at ano, yung mga nakasama natin noong panahong siguro naghihikahus pa at nagsusumika pa lamang, wala pa yung tagumpay. Ayan po talaga yung masarap talaga na alagaan panghabang buhay.
Totoo.
Ayan. Tandaan niyo po, narito kami para maghatid ng balita sa Mangdako ng Mundo. Muli ako po si Rikki Mathay.
At ako naman si Alagao Flores. Ito ang Mata ng Agila International. Para sa mga balitang nangyari sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, punta naman tayo kay Alma Angeles para sa Net 25 World News. Take it away, Alma.
Thank you, Nina and Rikki. This is Alma Angeles, and you're watching Net 25 World News. Here are tonight's top stories. Vice President Kamala Harris has announced her running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. She introduced him to enthusiastic supporters at a rally in Philadelphia, describing him as the kind of vice president America deserves.
So, Pennsylvania, I'm here today because I found such a leader.
The news starts now. Kamala Harris has chosen a little-known governor from a northern state as her running mate, and she introduced Minnesota Governor Tim Walz to enthusiastic supporters at a rally in Philadelphia today, describing him as the kind of vice president America deserves. Mathay Likeness reports.
Governor Tim Walz of the great state of Minnesota.
And with that, Americans got their first look at the vice presidential candidate on the Democratic ticket. A cheering crowd repeatedly interrupted Harris and Walz as they addressed the crowd. Tim Walz is a former teacher and high school football coach. He also served nearly a quarter century with the National Guard. As a politician, Walz was a congressman and is currently in his second term as governor of Minnesota. In his first speech to supporters at the Philadelphia rally, Walz seemed to draw on his past as a football coach. The address sounded like a pep talk to the team before the big game.
She believes in the promise of America. We just got to fight. We just got to fight. Because as soon-to-be President Harris says, when we fight, we win!
For the coach-turned-politician, the immediate challenge will be trying to get name recognition, becoming a household name. He's got 90 days to do it before Americans go to the polls. And that's going to mean a heavy travel schedule for the next 3 months as the Democrats try to introduce him to as many communities as possible. In his first appearance in Philadelphia, Walz wasted no time going after Republican candidate Donald Trump's record as president.
He drove our economy into the ground. And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
He repeated his comment that he finds both Trump and his running mate, J.D. Vance, weird and creepy. Walz adds he looks forward to debating Vance.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, J.D. studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So. See what I did there? Look. I got to tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy and, yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
The Trump campaign described the Minnesota governor as a dangerous liberal extremist. So, what do political observers say? University of Virginia political science professor Jennifer Lawless says she thinks the Democratic team is as strong as it could have hoped for.
When Kamala Harris burst onto the scene 2 weeks ago at the top of the ticket, she had a sense of enthusiasm and optimism and electricity that we haven't seen in presidential politics in quite some time. And Tim Walz has those same kinds of qualities. He's upbeat, he's optimistic, he's future looking. And together, that really makes them funny and sunny. And I've been saying that that's a big juxtaposition to what we see in Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, where a lot of their rhetoric and a lot of their speeches come across as sour and dour.
But the outcome of the election is anything but a foregone conclusion. Lawless says both sides have to be worried.
I would be very, very nervous on both sides of the aisle. There's no telling what can happen. The big obvious October surprise will likely have to do with some sort of foreign policy crisis. Whether it's Iran's retaliation, whether it's a change in the war in Israel and Gaza, it's unclear who that benefits because we don't really know what the crisis will be.
She's so right about that. Look at the last month. The disastrous debate performance by Joe Biden. An assassination attempt on Trump. The Republican convention where, after it was all over, it looked like an easy win for Trump. Then, Biden's withdrawal from the race with his replacement by Harris. And the enthusiasm with which Harris has been greeted. Seems the rule in politics is anything can happen, and it probably will. I look forward to watching the events of the next 3 months. Thomas I. Likeness, Net25 World News.
A selection of a running mate is critical. It has to be someone who won't overshadow the person on the top of the ticket. And at the same time, the number 2 spot on the ticket has to be filled by someone who will bring in more votes without alienating the party's base supporters. What does Tim Walz bring to Kamala Harris's campaign, Tom?
Elma, Tim Walz is an interesting fellow. Now, he's got the political experience, both in Congress and as Minnesota's governor. He ran successfully as a Democrat in a part of the country where, Democrats just haven't won a lot of elections. But he grew up in Midwestern America, so he can relate to people in these states. He really connects with them. So potentially, he can expand Harris's tent in several swing states by bringing in people who are undecided, or maybe they're independents, neither Democrat or Republican, and bring them in. They may have been uncomfortable in the past voting for a Democrat, but with the success Walz has had in his political career, they may throw their lot in with him. Another thing he has going for him, he's a former teacher, a former high school football coach. He knows how to encourage people, he knows how to talk to people, and at the same time, stay focused on winning. He speaks everyday English. He's not a policy wonk at all. He explains things in plain language. So that brings a lot to the Harris campaign. Oh, a fun fact, he spent a year teaching in China, and he can still hold a conversation in Mandarin. Elma?
So where does Walz sit on the political spectrum? Trump's team describes Walz as a dangerous liberal extremist, and others describe him as a progressive. How would you describe him?
Well, Elma, Tim Walz is definitely left of center, but certainly not an extremist leftist. Here are some of the things he's done in his political career. In Minnesota, the labor law has been changed so that it now requires things like paid leave. He's introduced free school meals to make sure school children are well nourished. The state is requiring universal background checks before a person can buy a gun. He's increased spending on infrastructure, and of course, being a former teacher, he's a big supporter of public education. Now, these positions are not popular with many conservatives, so yeah, they might consider him to be extreme. But the voters of Minnesota obviously like what he's doing. His administration has been reelected to a second term, so I would say he's done fairly well.
So,
Alma?
Thomas, with just 3 months left until Americans cast their votes in the presidential election, is there enough time for Walz and Harris as well to become well enough known to win?
Well, Elma, American election campaigns, they've got to be the longest in the world. They go on for a year or more. You remember last month, the United Kingdom held a national election. Just last month, 25-day campaign. In Canada, our elections generally have a 28-day campaign. 4 weeks, it's enough. With today's communications and social media, there's no need to have a lengthy campaign to give the candidates an opportunity to hit every whistle stop to shake hands with voters. We do it all on social media now. Another factor, though, in U.S. elections is the amount of money that is spent. In 2020, get this, more than $14 billion was spent on the presidential election. And to raise that amount of money, it takes time. That you're not going to do in 90 days. But to get the message out these days, to build a brand, a profile, 90 days, that 3 months should be more than adequate for Harris and Walz. And of course, the longer the campaign runs, there's also the greater chance of a candidate making a major misstep, and you want to avoid that. So the shortness may help them as well. It's going to certainly, though, be an interesting 3 months. Elma?
Thank you very much, Thomas, for your report and your insights. The Middle East is on high alert for a potential retaliatory strike by Iran and its proxies against Israel following the recent assassinations of key Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. Take a look.
بعد اغتيال الشهيد القائد سيد فؤاد، حزب الله أيضا يرى نفسه ملزما بالرد، وإيران سترد وحزب الله سيرد، والعدو ينتظر ويترقب. ويحسب كل صيحة عليه يحسبها هي رد.
Tensions are running high in the Middle East as there are concerns about a possible retaliatory strike by Iran and its allies against Israel. And this follows the recent killings of key leaders from Hamas and Hezbollah. During a fiery speech, Hezbollah chief Hassan Nasrallah warned that Israel should be prepared for a response from Iran and the axis of resistance, which includes Hamas and the Houthis. In the midst of these threats, there have been reports of Israeli fighter jets breaking the sound barrier over Beirut and Hezbollah drones flying over the northern Israeli city of Nahariya. Israeli defense missiles intercepted them, but one missile missed its target, crashing and injuring several people at a bus stop. Later, an Israeli airstrike in southern Lebanon killed 4 people. This back-and-forth escalation is raising concerns about a broader conflict in the region. In response, the Pentagon has sent additional military assets to the region. A squadron of F-18F jets from the USS Theodore Roosevelt has been sent to an airbase in an undisclosed Middle Eastern partner nation, with F-22s also on the way.
The Department of Defense continues to take steps to lower temperatures in the region and to ward off regional escalation by Iran and its partners and proxies, to reinforce our ironclad commitment to the defense of Israel, and to remain prepared to respond to any contingency. To maintain our carrier strike group presence in the Middle East, I've ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln to replace the USS Theodore Roosevelt later this month. I've also ordered more cruisers and destroyers capable of ballistic missile defense to the region, and I've ordered the deployment of another fighter squadron to the Middle East to reinforce our defensive air support capabilities there. These posture adjustments add to our already broad range of capabilities in the region, and we remain ready to deploy on short notice to meet evolving threats to our security, our partners, or our interests.
Everyone in the region should understand that further attacks only perpetuate conflict, instability, insecurity for everyone. And further attacks only raise the risk of dangerous outcomes that no one can predict and no one can fully control. It's urgent that everyone in the region take stock of the situation, understand the risk of miscalculation, and make decisions that will calm tensions, not exacerbate them.
And there's a sense of unease as the region awaits a potential response from Iran and its allies.
Now, staying in the Middle East, Russia is reportedly supplying advanced radar and air defense systems to Iran amid growing fears of a full-blown conflict with Israel. Now, this development follows a meeting on Monday between Russian Security Chief Sergei Shoigu and Iran's new president, Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian.
Iran is preparing to retaliate against Israel for the recent killing of Hamas political chief Ismail Haniyeh on Iranian soil. While Israel has declined to comment on the incident, Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has called for a direct attack on Israel. The Kremlin has condemned Haniyeh's killing and urged all parties to avoid escalating into a broader regional war. Shoigu emphasized that Russia has supported Iran through challenging times and condemned both Haniyeh's killing and Israel's actions in Gaza as violations of international law. Shoigu stated that Russia is ready for full cooperation with Iran on regional issues. He also met with Iran's Armed Forces commander, who described the relationship between the two countries as deep, long-term, and strategic. Reports indicate that a large number of Russian Jews live in Israel and that both nations have significant economic and cultural ties. Moscow relies on Iranian drones for its war in Ukraine, and Iran has been supplying military drones to Russia since the invasion in 2022. The two countries have recently finalized a deal to expand their intelligence and military cooperation.
Масштабы сотрудничества с Ираном сегодня носят, в общем, достаточно широкий характер и очень высокие темпы. наращивания этого сотрудничества идут по всем сферам, в сфере экономики, в сфере транспортного сотрудничества. И, конечно, те вопросы, которые рассматривались на встрече с вновь избранным президентом и с секретарем Совета Безопасности, они охватывали весь круг вопросов, начиная от Сирии, безусловно, тревожные события на границе Ливан-Израиль. Конечно, это касалось и последних событий, которые произошли в Тегеране, трагических событий. Эту тему нельзя было обойти.
With Russia's involvement, efforts to diffuse tensions and prevent a wider war in the region could become increasingly complicated.
And now to the war in Europe. Ukraine has claimed a significant victory in the ongoing war with Russia, asserting that it successfully sank a Russian submarine in the Black Sea over the weekend.
The attack, which reportedly utilized long-range precision missiles, targeted the submarine while it was docked at the Sevastopol port in Crimea. The vessel, identified as the Rostov-on-Don, was a key component of Russia's Black Sea Fleet, capable of launching cruise missiles at Ukrainian cities. If confirmed, this would represent one of the most substantial losses for the Russian Navy since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Ukrainian forces have also inflicted damage on a Russian airbase in Crimea, targeting fortified complex housing advanced S-400 missile systems. And these systems were crucial in protecting the Kerch Strait Bridge, a vital supply route for Russian forces in occupied Crimea. Furthermore, Ukraine has launched a series of long-range drone strikes against a major oil refinery in southern Russia, and these attacks come as Kiev intensifies its counteroffensive, leveraging Western-supplied weapons to target Russian military infrastructure. Moscow has accused Ukraine of targeting civilians through indiscriminate shelling of residential areas, a claim Kiev vehemently denies. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky remains determined to turn the tide of the war before winter, and recent successes on the battlefield have bolstered Ukrainian morale and aspirations. While Russia has...
Добрый день, уважаемые коллеги. Начать придется с событий в Курской области. Как известно, киевский режим предпринял очередную масштабную провокацию, ведет неизбирательную стрельбу из разных видов оружия, в том числе ракетного, по гражданским зданиям, жилым домам, машинам скорой помощи. Сразу же после нашего совещания у меня будет встреча с руководителями силовых ведомств, Министерства обороны, Генеральным штабом, ФСБ, имея в виду пограничное направление деятельности Федеральной службы безопасности. И заслушаю очередной доклад коллег по тому, что происходит в Курской области.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas has a tough job balancing the Philippine economy. We'll hear from Ho E. Kor, an expert about the BSP's challenges, when Net25 World News returns.
Dahil walang hinto ang balita.
Financial straits.
Mata ng Agila Weekend tuwing Sabado, alas 4 ng hapon. Ito ang Net25. Matatag, matapag, matapak.
Let's net together sa Net25. Sa Net25.
The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas is facing a delicate balancing act as it navigates the country's economic landscape. In a recent interview, Ho E. Kor, chief economist of AMRO, shed light on the central bank's challenges.
Yeah, the Philippine inflation was relatively high compared to other countries in the region. But more recently, the disinflation seems to have picked up momentum, and inflation has come off more faster than expected. So as a result, now the inflation number is now within the band. But even so, I think the government has been very cautious and said that it's going to maintain the current relatively tight monetary policy until inflation is come down more decisively.
AMRO has revised its inflation forecast for the Philippines this year downward, but has raised it for next year. Now, CORE explains that while inflation has cooled down faster than anticipated, bringing it within the BSP's target range, the central bank remains cautious.
So we really supported that. At the same time, the economy is doing well. It's growing at around 6%. We had expected it to grow at about 6.3 previously, 6.1%, sorry. So that's a pretty strong growth for emerging markets. So I think the governor has a lot of flexibility in deciding when we can lower the rates.
At least one person has died and 8 others are trapped, some in critical condition, after a hotel partially collapsed near the picturesque Moselle River in Germany early Wednesday morning. Emergency responders are racing against time to reach those still buried under the rubble of the building in the town of Crowef. Police say the recovery operation is extremely challenging due to the extent of the damage. Witnesses described the terrifying moment the upper floor of the hotel caved in around 11 p.m. local time. Several people managed to escape, but authorities believe 14 people were inside when the collapse happened. As a precaution, 31 residents from nearby homes have been evacuated. The search and rescue operation is ongoing. The World Health Organization is sounding the alarm on a new global surge in COVID-19 cases, including a worrying outbreak at the Paris Olympics. The UN Health Agency warned today that infections are unlikely to subside anytime soon.
COVID-19 is still very much with us. The virus is circulating in all countries. Data from our Sentinel-based systems across 84 countries reports that the percent of positive tests for SARS-CoV-2 has been rising over the last several weeks. Overall, test positivity is above 10%, but this fluctuates by region. In Europe, percent positivity is over 20%. In recent months, regardless of the season, many countries have experienced surges of COVID-19, including at the Olympics. Currently, there are at least 40 athletes who have tested positive. The availability of vaccines has declined. It has declined substantially over the last 12, 18 months. And this is because the number of producers of vaccines has declined. But let's be very clear, there is a market for COVID-19 vaccines that are out there. I am concerned. We don't sit here and try to speak based on fear. What we work on are scenarios. What our worry is with such low coverage, especially in the at-risk groups, and I'm not saying other groups don't need to be vaccinated, with such low coverage and with such large circulation, if we were to have a variant that would be more severe, then the susceptibility of the at-risk populations to develop severe disease is huge.
In Canada, more than a dozen listeriosis victims have been reported, a disease caused by a bacteria from contaminated food. Let's find out what caused the outbreak and how can one detect its symptoms. Yolanda Asperas reports.
There is an ongoing listeriosis outbreak in the country. Public Health Agency of Canada reports a total of 18 cases in 4 provinces, 1 in Alberta and Nova Scotia, 4 in Quebec, and 12 in Ontario. This outbreak has been linked to a national recall of various plant-based refrigerated beverages of Silk and Great Value brands. 13 people have been hospitalized, with patients ranging from 7 to 89 years old. Majority are female, 50 years and older. Listeriosis is a foodborne bacterial illness that can affect anyone exposed to any contaminated food product. In severe cases, listeriosis can develop to meningitis and blood poisoning. Listeriosis can start as early as 3 days after eating contaminated food. Symptoms include fever, nausea, cramps, diarrhea, and vomiting. Severe symptoms include stiff neck, confusion, headache, and loss of balance. Public Health of Canada advises people to check if they have recalled products at home and to not consume or use them at all. They should be thrown out or returned to the location where they were purchased. To date, 2 people have died from this listeriosis outbreak. Yolanda Aspiras, Toronto, Ontario for Net25 World News.
The glamour and excitement of the 73rd Miss USA unfolded at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. Our very own Net25 Hollywood correspondent MJ Ricardo was on the red carpet to meet one of the esteemed judges, a Grammy winner, as well as the newly crowned Miss Teen USA 2024 and the ultimate victor, Miss USA. MJ,
what are you looking for the next Miss USA?
Well, I'm looking for a woman who has confidence and who also has light emanating off of her, like is super confident, but also genuine.
The brand new Miss Teen USA, Addie, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So now that you have more influence, what are you gonna do with your influence?
Yeah, so whenever I won Miss Mississippi Teen USA back in April, I made a goal of wanting to make an impact on everyone that I came into contact with. So now that I've won Miss Teen USA, I want to do the same exact thing, but just grow that on a national level and grow my organization called Dance to Empower to really spread the love of dance that I have, but also the joy that it can bring to every single person all across our country.
USA 2024 is Michigan. We got the brand new Miss USA. Now, what is the first thing you're gonna do as a Miss USA? As in fun?
As in fun? Probably watch a Disney movie. And I really just wanna probably have a good meal.
Absolutely. And what are the 3 fun facts about Miss USA?
Yes. I skipped the 3rd grade. That's 1. 2, my favorite color is pink. And 3, I know how to apply camouflage.
Wow, that's amazing. Now, representing the USA, what can you do as a unique representation of USA in the up-and-coming Miss Universe in Mexico City?
Well, I think with service at the forefront of my heart, what I want to do is just continue to dedicate this to service. I see the Miss USA role as an extension of my service as an Army officer, and that there's so much good that I can do and be a force for good and a transformational leader that doesn't stop, when I take my uniform off, and it certainly won't stop as Miss USA.
One last thing, how do you amplify being Miss USA?
Uplifting people. This is about being a connector, bridging gaps, and breaking down barriers. To me, I stood alongside 50 incredible women from all different backgrounds, all different cultures, who have their own unique story. And this year still is dedicated to uplifting them in their passions and uplifting every single person across this country and across the globe who aspires to chase their dreams and look for opportunities for them. For me, I strongly believe that if you can see me, you can be me, and I will continue to force that message onto the Miss Universe stage.
That was beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is it for entertainment news. MJ Ricardo here. Always tune in to Net25.
And with that, we end tonight's broadcast. For everyone here on Net25, I'm Alma Angeles. Thank you all for joining us. Good night.